迫る初夏地獄の軍団我らを狙う黒い影世界の平和を守るため Go! Go! Let's go!
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Corbin, the Serpent Tongue Skipwith, and you're listening to the Devil's Advocate podcast. I have a very special guest. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Peace to the world. Peace to man, woman, and child. This is the world's greatest supervillain. You know, the infamous God, otherwise known as Inf, righteously known as Infinite Power God. Peace.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I'm very excited.
Me too. We're here.
Yes, exactly. Finally here. All right. So before I talk about the two albums I want to talk about, how did you get your footing in music? How did you start your career in music? Who were your inspirations? How did you get into it?
That's a great question. And before I answer that, I just want to say I really respect your craft as an individual. Respect to what you do on the daily. I pay attention, and that's free.
Thank you.
You know, you already. So my influences, basically, I grew up in the early 90s listening to all kinds of different outlets of music, whether it was hip hop, grunge, rock and roll, just the whole nine. You know, I was all across the board with it. Though what really got my attention was the fact that I grew up on like kung fu movies and then later branched out to anime and video games all day. So that combined with like listening to Wu-Tang and Nas, Mobb Deep, and just, you know, Muggs, everybody, you know, name them, I probably listened to them for the most part, or it just probably passed through sound, you know. I heard it and it's stuck. And then, you know, some years later, fast forward, how you say, I was into freestyling, battling, all the above. Not like the Smack DVD battles, though, just, you know, like friendly sparring, shadow boxing, quote unquote, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I built myself up. And then some years, months, and days later, you know, enter the Knack and the Vino era, you know? That changed my life. I'll say this, there's been projects, I'm in the middle of job interviews, and they drop projects, my phone gets a notification, I'm like, fuck, I can't be here. I can't be around mortals. Yo, this shit just dropped. Hold on a second. You know what? Yo, give this to the next person. I got to take time, you know, so I'm like, and mind you, those are my brothers and live in mathematics. We 5%ers first and foremost, you know, so that's how we all got together originally. I didn't really know Nat could rap, and I didn't know Davino yet, though it was through a specific frequency and language that we speak and communicate. That's how we connected as a collective consciousness, you know?
Yeah.
So they eventually also became my modern day influence as opposed to like, you know, what the majority falls victim to.
Yeah. What's it like working with those two? Because I mean, like as a fan, I'm blown away. I can't imagine being in the studio with either of them.
So, you know, that's a great question, honestly, because I'm a fan too. So it's like, yo, being a fan and also an artist is like, yo, I'm in the booth with my favorite MCs. You can't lack, you can't slack. You got to bring your A+ game. Your A game is not enough, you know. So though, and just, you know, that I will say this, just listening to them, you know, build on where they're going with their next project, or, you know, just popping up on the occasion, and it's like, you know, they have a whole body of work, the art ready to go. I'm just like, what am I doing with my life? Yo, these guys, and these are my brothers. I'm hearing now. So, you know, they definitely got me motivated and activated to, you know, press the green light on my own, you know, craft.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, the one thing I've noticed, the more I listen to both of them, obviously they're amazing artists. Obviously, production's crazy, but I also notice they're really good curators. Both of them, they have their heads screwed on. Like, isn't that's crazy to me?
Yeah, and you know, the thing about it is that same energy, you can see it reflected through all the other members of the 23 Incredible, you know, and that's just what it is being in a cipher with them. It's incredible, you know, and how you say, it's like whether it's the majors or the hidden character or whoever, whenever, however, when everybody's there, it's just like, you walk away with something and you feel brand new, and then you go back to your chamber and it's like, what are you really doing? You know, everybody's a motivator.
Yeah. Um, can you is there anything different or is there anything distinguishable that you can tell between 23 Incredible and Jackpot? Is there anything that you're like, oh, they do this, they do that, or is it all the same?
It regardless of the name, it's all the same. The aim is the same.
Yep.
The purpose is just to satisfy the customer and just make sure everybody enjoys the wave, because this is a once in a lifetime chance in the universe, and we are here to experience that as a whole. So we're not going to give you nothing weak, wicked, diluted, or tampered. We're here to give you the rawest, purest form of music in what you call the now.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, look. So I want to talk about the Shaw Brothers album, Twin Blades of Doom. Obviously, that came out recently.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my first impressions. When I first heard this, obviously it was a free download on Jackpot Records. Whoever was lucky enough to get it. And the first thing I had in my mind was, this is like MF Doom on crack. That was like my first thought. I'm like, this is a comic book character trying to jump me with an empty Hennessy bottle. This is fucking nuts. So tell me about it. The process. How did this album come to be?
So honestly, that was inspired by just being in a room with all of my brothers and sisters. You know, just we shot a video one day, and then we're kicking back with Nak watching the hit. So one thing, whenever you build with him, he knows kung fu movies. Like his kind, I thought I knew kung fu movies. No, he's on a different level. He's like Super Saiyan God with it. So he puts me onto some Jackie Chan movie that woke me up out of my sleep. And I know Davino, you know, so we link up. I tell him about this movie, and then we just start politicking about, you know, different eras of, you know, different catalogs. And we started talking about the Shaw Brothers, you know, and they had a legendary run. So we're thinking, yo, you know what? We got to do a legendary run. That's actually a crazy name. So we picked up the name and we became the Shaw Brothers. And just, you know, we started letting off like little rounds here and there, just throwing out samples. And then we just felt like, you know what? Let's just surprise them with the most craziest shit. Like if we were fans of the Shaw Brothers, how would we approach it? You know, and that was just, you know, the first movie.
Yeah.
Mind you, the Shaw Brothers did like 50, what was it, like a day or something like that?
Yeah.
They were on a different run. Nobody went home. The studio was home.
Yeah. How long did this album take to make all up?
Overall, it took a few months because we weren't trying to do anything normal with the beats, because we're not normal individuals. Clearly, you know, so we wanted to take our time and really tap into, you know, the inspirations, the frequencies, and get the sounds right, and just, you know, make sure the energy was there
Yeah.
from track one to, you know what I'm saying, from beginning to ending, from the interludes to the skits. Those skits are legendary. Oh my gosh.
Um, what's it like seeing El Davino on the production table? That must be insane. His beats are ridiculous. Like,
How the what's the best way to put it? It's like going into a different dimension and just watching somebody manipulate time, space, and matter, you know. And then when you step outside of that, it's just like, whoa, he just did that. And mind you, that's just like one beat,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, this whatever. Let's put it like this: whatever you think it is, you're not wrong. It's that and then some, because in person, it's just like, yo, they're all geniuses.
Yeah. Definitely.
They actually taught, like, you know, shout out to everybody. I wouldn't be the artist that I am. Like, I've been drawing since a kid, but just tapping in with these brothers, just like, you know, I'm doing album covers for them just because I know who they are and what they're capable of. And I want everybody not only to win, but to catch the victory. I want everybody to get the flowers that I know they deserve, because they inspire you in the same way they inspire me. and that was the inspiration for Infamous God. You know, that name. Yeah. Shout outs to Eloy. You know, he kind of gave me the name off of a coincidence, and it stuck. It was just like, yo, you know what? That sounds kind of fly. I'm actually rock that, yo. So now you know what it is. So yeah, man, we all like one big happy family.
Fuck yeah, I love it. Was there any song on the Twin Blades of Doom album that was actually hard for you to record? Like anything that was a tongue twister, any verse that was harder than normal?
Nope. No, to be honest with you, so we have this formula where, so we're from a certain grain or cut from a specific cloth where it's one and done.
Yeah.
Like you jump out the helicopter once, you can jump out a million times, but that first experience is different than the others. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what we give every single, you know, from even the production. Like it's just, oh shit, yo, you just did that. Yo, I'm ready to cook. Let's go. I'll write a verse right now. Okay, yo, your verse is written. Yep. Okay, I'm locked in. So it's organic mechanics. And it's wavy crazy.
Yeah, fucking hell, that's really cool. I love that. Is that the same for the is that the same formula for the features on here? Kill Bill, Blue Hill Bill?
Yeah, man. Yo, shout out to those brothers. Kill Bill. Oh my gosh. Like Blue Hill Bill and Kill the Artist. Yeah, they've been on an incredible run too. Yeah. And it's like we're not too far from each other geographically, so it's only naturally right and exact that we all connect, you know, from Feed the Family. Shout outs to those brothers too, you know, definitely doing their thing. Yeah, yeah, singers. You know, yeah. So everybody's just, if you look in the mass, everybody's cooking, you know, and it's like everybody again inspires everybody. It's just again one big happy family, and it's almost like the Renaissance is very reminiscent of what it was supposed to be and maintain, like in regards to like how we were inspired by the 90s, you know, just everybody together, but nobody sounds the same. But when you put it all together, it's just, you know, I don't even have words for it. It just happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not to sound spooky, but it's magic.
Yeah. That kind of sounds like a fucking what you just said kind of sounds like a West Side Gun intro, you know, the talking the remnants of the culture.
My God.
Like, yeah. But yeah, he should snippet this and use it. No.
Yo, he was another inspiration too. The whole Griselda, man, come on.
Yeah, I can imagine. I love West Side Gun. So okay. Like I said to you on text yesterday, like I think it's a genius move from Jackpot to release this album, Twin Blades of Doom, for free, and then be like, okay, you've experienced the hype, you've experienced the genius that is you and Davino. Here's this album. Now we're going to charge for it because I think you know it's kind of a dick move to get the free album, enjoy it, and then not support when it becomes charged. You know, like of course I bought it, but like I hope everyone else is doing the same. I hope everyone realizes, oh, the free album's good. I want to continue to support you further. So,
yo, to be honest, the goal was we want the world to hear this and appreciate it for what it is before we put it in a physical body and, you know, distribute it to the world. It's like, yo, if you can appreciate it in sound, then you will appreciate it in light, you know? Mm-hmm. So we're artists, so we want to make sure that the craft as well as the final product is respected. Like we don't mind sharing it with the world, like, yo, look, this is what you can do with art. Though when we put it up, it's like Davino said, it's not a problem if Jordan put out a pair of sneakers for $1,000. You know, if we put this album up for like $1 billion, it would be crazy, but it wouldn't. But we wanted to give it to the world for free to enjoy it, but also make it reasonable, because what was displayed on that project, I have yet to hear on anything else outside of the whole cipher of, you know what I'm saying, the consistency of what we all do.
Yeah, I agree.
That grain pushing.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, you know, And I've made tons of videos on my Instagram, like shouting out Jackpot because of albums like yours and albums like that Kid Bravo, all the other album No Shadow, because of
Shout out to Bravo.
yeah, yeah, Smello,
Yeah.
all of them. So yeah, I completely agree. It's art and it should be appreciated as such. And that's why I want and that's why I want to ask about the episode one album that dropped a few days ago. $44 on Jackpot. So tell me, what was the process behind that one?
So the process was the long story short, it was the inspiration. Shout outs to my son, like he inspired it. He basically, we lock in, we watch anime, and I was just like, yo, we took a long walk. Yo, I want to make a project, but I want to do something different, kind of like a series. What would you think would be good? All of a sudden, he sent me the intro.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the intro was my inspiration for everything else. And I'm like, challenge accepted. So I created the body of work. I showed it, I showed it to him, did the artwork, and then it's just like, presented it to my brothers, and they just, everybody who added on, they did an incredible job, whether it was mixing, adding verses, and just, everything came out way beyond my expectations, and I'm glad it exceeded them, So
Yeah, definitely. It must be kind of cool to be in a situation and just hit up, like for example, just hit up Davina or hit up Hidden Character and be like, "Yo, let's do a verse." Like that must be a sick feeling. Like,
it's not easy, though it's possible.
yeah,
And being family, it's just like sometimes it might not even just be that. It might just be, yo, I got something I want you to hear. Let me know how you think this sounds. Is this in the right direction? And I'll do the same thing. And it's like, yo, that's crazy. Can I get that beat? Sometimes I might send a beat and I'll never see it again. I'll get Jukester beats, but what they do to those beats are crazy. So it's like, okay, that happened, you know?
yeah, I can imagine. The one thing I loved about, I mean, a lot of things, but one of the things I loved about the new album is the fact that how it's separated into songs that are just instrumental, songs with rapping on it. You really pace the album with that formula instead of just pure rapping or just instrumentals. You kind of separate it and just give the fans a little bit of instrumentals, rapping, instrumentals, skits, interludes, and I really love that formula. It's very refreshing.
Thank you. I felt like it was definitely needed. That's something that I sat in my own studies and really, it listened to. I'm like, I wanna make something that, that you could put in a time capsule, open up 1,000 years from now, and it still sounds the same,
Yeah,
and I feel like the generation we grew up in encapsulates all of that. No pun intended.
yeah,
Like we had a lot of the freshest ideas. Shout out to the other generations, but you and we in a different type of version of the here and now, and we do things that will like long live past us. So that's what we approach our music with. How can we make this live forever?
yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, back in the day, we had CDs, vinyls. Like, I still remember the first hip hop album I ever bought on disc, Jay-Z's Blueprint 3. That was the first one.
Red man, that's fly.
Yeah, so, and we remember it. We remember our CDs. We remember storing them in our folders. Streaming is too easy. Spotify is too easy. So I'm glad that Jackpot and 23 Incredible, they're actually doing the purchases on Bandcamp or the zip files because then at the end of the day it means more. If you're paying for it, you care about it more.
And we don't bite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We make fly music, and it's like,
Mhm.
whoa, what's that? We want you to have the. Remember the feeling of going into like a dusty store and finding your favorite album, and
Yeah.
you we miss that experience. Like where's Blockbuster? It's in the memory, for example. That
Yeah.
I don't know if you had one of those over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet, good, okay, word. So that's something new. So yeah, it's like we want. Obviously, we're not in those times, but we know how to. Again, bring the appreciation back of those moments when you press play from beginning to end on any project or any single. Like those brothers make movies, and I learned how to make movies, you know,
Yeah.
or episodes.
Yes, episode one.
Yes.
What was it like doing the production for this album instead of the last one where Al Davino helped a lot? What was this one like? Just was it a harder process for you? Was it easier?
No. To be honest with you, so I have so much fun. You
Yeah.
know, like the same fun you have hearing it is the same fun I have producing it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm never like I will say this. Can I ever recreate any of those to sound exactly the same? No, because that was all an experience, you know, like from
Mhm.
the chops to the, you know, to the all the sound that was all I feel like I can never do that again. But what I did was actually record it and I can share that experience. Like, yo, this is what floats through my head. And this is just episode one. I have some type of issues, but here's episode one of that, you know? And I'm glad that it's well received, you know?
Fuck
So
yeah.
definitely fun. And episode two coming soon. Don't worry about that.
Do you? I'm curious. Is there within your own mind? Do you have like do you have a ceiling of like a place you won't go to creatively for an album? Is there a place where you're like, nah, that's too far. Nah, I better stay here.
Um, so honestly, yeah, because sometimes I hit like I can't sing. I couldn't sing to save my life, right? And that's okay because I know people who do. It's almost like, you know, my mother taught me to love and respect women. Shout out to all my queens, right? But if I ever felt like I got jumped by a female, it's like, well, I have a sister, you
Yeah.
know. So that type of, if that makes sense, it's more like whatever I can't do, I know someone who can. If I can't dunk, I know someone who can, and that. But I might not be able to do that, but I know someone who can, and I can respect it for what it is.
Yeah.
Like or like Kodak Black. You know, I can't be a Kodak Black, but there is a Kodak Black, so I can respect that.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Makes sense. Is there anything you can tell us early, like a little bit of a pre-info about the next thing you're working on, or is it all still under wraps?
Certain things are under wraps, but I will say this: like 2026, we're only 3 chapters into it, and you know, so far you got the Twin Blades of Doom, you know, you got the Soul Calibur, you got the Malachi Majors, you know, episode one, and then Deuce Trey family can the China, uh shout out to everyone is cooking something, and sometimes you never know. I never know. Sometimes I'll just wake up, like wipe the crust out of my eye, and someone just dropped the whole like, whoa, this is crazy, another movie, you know. So you never know with the team. It's like Marvel or Capcom versus Marvel.
Yeah. Nice. Is there a certain goal you're trying to achieve for your career in 2026?
Um, Essentially, yeah. I just again the same way you see the art and for what it is and how it's not taken on face value is what I want the world to see too. You know that there, there's a pure form of raw, dusty music that still exists, and there are others who have definitely been doing it and continue to inspire, and I'm one of those who inspire, and I just want to share the inspiration, and pass that on to the next generation, because you never know who you inspire. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you with these interviews, you might inspire, the next serpent tongue.
Yeah.
You
I fucking
know?
hope not. Fuck him. I'm the serpent. Nah, nah. Fuck. Nah, I understand. Yeah, inspire the new generation. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that day comes and I'm dead. I don't want to live for
Oh
the new generation. Fuck them.
nah,
No.
long live serpent tongue. No, go win the lottery. And
Yeah,
if you do,
hopefully.
no.
Look, this has been really fun, but the last thing I want to ask you before we go is, what's your favorite kung fu movie?
Ooh. So, damn. That's a really good one. I have 5 Deadly Venoms.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Shaolin versus Llama.
Mhm.
Chinese Connection. Let's see. Shaolin against Llama. I said Chinese Connection. Enter the Dragon and 5 Deadly
Oh,
Venoms.
fuck yeah. Nice. See, my choice is a super goofy one. I'm gonna get laughed out of the room for it. It's not even really a kung fu movie, but it kind of is. It's like a fusion movie, but and I don't know if you've seen it, but I grew up in this movie. My dad always used to rent it at Blockbuster. But Sha
Not the Blockbuster.
Shaolin Soccer. Do you watch
Yo,
that movie?
those movies were fire. Are you serious?
Kung
No,
Fu
those
Hustle.
are yes. Yo, those movies were hilarious. I saw Kung Fu Hustle. I need to watch Shaolin Soccer because you mentioned that. Those movies were incredibly hilarious. I had tears in my eyes, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, you got catalog.
Yeah, in that scene in Kung Fu Hustle when that guy's talking shit and then the guy stands up, he's like 7 foot tall. He's like, I wasn't talking to you, sit down.
No, I wasn't talking. That's me. If I get up out of where I'm at, I'm closer to 7 feet versus 4 foot. So yeah,
Uh,
that movie was hilarious.
fuck
Shout
it
out
out.
to Lin Chow and Tony Jaa.
Yes. Look, again, this has been a fun, nice, short, sweet interview about the 2 albums. I'm excited to hear what you have coming next. Obviously, I'll support you throughout the year, and I'll have this
More
ready and uploaded soon enough.
absolutely. Yo, always a pleasure, my guy. Yo,
Yeah, you
take it
too.
easy, enjoy the weather, and I will see you on the next one.
All right, talk to you later.
Indeed. Peace.